everybody, welcome back to First Sip here at Elevated Beer, Wine, and Spirits. I'm Matt, and today we are joined by Jeremy from Sociable Cider Werks in Northeast Minneapolis. Jeremy, thanks a lot for being here, man.
Thank you for having us.
So we're going to be chatting, obviously, about Sociable Cider Werks. We've got these 5 ciders in front of us. I know that you guys do a lot of different ciders, both distributed and out in the tap room. But first, just tell us a little bit about Sociable and kind of who you guys are.
Yeah, so Sociable Cider Werks was started by Jim and Wade, and they started it in their garage, just starting to produce a cider recipe that, you know, was a little bit more classic and a little bit more drier, unlike what's on the mass market, a really overly sweetened cider. And what they ended up doing is producing a freewheeler, and then, you know, shortly after, as you see, our lineup has grown.
Yeah, nice. So they started in their garage. They made Freewheeler. So let's talk about each of these ciders in front of us, starting with Freewheeler. Tell people kind of what Freewheeler is all about.
Freewheeler is our flagship cider, so it's a really great, crisp, dry cider. The flavor profile is very reminiscent of champagne or Prosecco. Bubbly, so it's carbonated, and just a really great cider. Yeah,
and I can say from having stopped by the tap room many times throughout the summer, and the winter for that matter, it is a great, delicious thirst quencher for any time of the year, for sure. So from there, walk us through. We've got Spoke Wrench.
Yeah, Spoke Wrench. So Spoke Wrench is our 25% stout, 75% cider blend.
Okay.
What we do is we brew a stout, we brew a cider, and we let them ferment, and then we blend them.
Cool.
And what you end up with is something with like heavy coffee, chocolate, sour tart notes, and it's one that I really love, the complexity of it, and just how you can sit down and take your time with it.
Yeah, and that's very unique. That's not something that I've really seen out of a lot of cideries. So very cool. That's Spoke Wrench. And then jumping over there to Rusty Chain. Tell us about that.
So Rusty Chain is actually our fall seasonal, and what we do is we get fresh cranberry juice from Badger Hill, Wisconsin.
Oh, sweet.
Yep, and as it's fermenting, we pump it into our cider and finish it off like that.
Nice.
What you end up with is something really tart and in just the best way possible.
Yeah, you may have seen that on our Thanksgiving episode of First Sip. We had that as a great option for people to go with their, starchy, heavy Thanksgiving meal. So it goes well with that, as well as, really any time. So.
Yeah, really reminds me of like a dry rosé.
Yeah. Moving over to A Wheelie, one of my personal favorites. Tell us a little bit about that.
So A Wheelie is a dry hop cider. The hops that we use for the A Wheelie is Cascade, the Chinook, and the U.S. Golden hops. We dry hop it, so at the very end of the process, we let that go for a little bit and until it gets to the flavor profiles that we like. Overall, grapefruit, citrus, floral notes, and slightly acidic like a white wine. So I really enjoy that.
Yeah, I do too. And as a self-described hophead with beers, it's definitely fun to introduce that flavor and that aroma to a cider, which is not something that I think most people, including myself, are used to.
I feel, the A Wheelie, I feel, does a really good job at bridging the gap for people who are really into beer and want to try something new, and this cider provides that for them, and people who are really into cider and kind of want to learn about hops and the beer side it's a great introduction for them.
Absolutely. Well spoken, well put. And then we're going to go ahead and move on to our taster for the day. We've got Burnout here, which is a Cucumber Habanero cider. So tell us a little bit about Burnout. I'm going to start kind of tasting it and taking a look at it.
All right.
So tell the people what it's all about.
So Burnout is our Cucumber Habanero blend. What we do is we get fresh cucumbers, fresh habaneros, and we basically put them through an industrial grade shredder, turn it into pulp, and then make them essentially into tea bags and put them into circulation with our cider until it hits that right amount of cucumber to habanero flavor. You really get just the right amount of pepper flavor on it, not too much heat, and the cucumber really washes it off.
Yeah. I'm starting to get a first smell of this. I would say as I start to get the aroma, there's a lot of kind of that cucumber smell to it, which is kind of refreshing. I will admit that I am not a big fan of either cucumber or habanero, but they play really well with this nice bright cider, and I think both bring their own brightness to the party, if you will. And like you said, it's not too spicy because, again, not a big spice guy, but it just kind of gives it that little kick right on the end.
Yep.
And the cucumber just kind of smooths it out really nicely. Almost like when you have cucumber water, you know, it's a nice refreshing treat for a lot of people. That's one of the words that I would really use to describe this particularly, is it's very refreshing.
Yeah, it is. Burnout, I feel, just hits that perfect balance of cucumber to habanero blend. Slight heat, warming factor on the palate that washes it off with the cucumber. And it's really good to always see the fact that we are continuing to use fresh produce, fresh pressed apple juice for all of our ciders.
Oh, cool.
You know, it's something that I really appreciate.
Yeah. And do you know where you guys kind of source your produce from?
Yes. So during the fall and winter season, it's strictly Minnesota during those 2 seasons.
Sweet.
During spring and summer, we actually go to Michigan to get our apples as well. You know, we're trying to keep it in the Midwest.
Yep.
We still want to be that, you know, hometown cider that we've grown to be.
That's awesome. I love it. And again, as I'm continuing to sip on Burnout, I'm just really enjoying, again, that refreshing kind of tartness, spiciness, and smoothness that it's a really complicated, cool thing where I'm kind of discovering new flavors. And it's got me thinking about, man, I would love to start pairing some foods with this.
Yeah.
I can see doing like some barbecue with it. So as it warms up outside, I think this will be, again, surprisingly, since I'm not big on cucumber habanero, something that I'll definitely keep in my fridge and keep around for some nice meals.
Yeah, my food pairing, I would say, is fish tacos.
Ooh.
You kind of can't go wrong with a fish taco.
Yeah, now you're cooking with gas. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, yeah, so Jeremy, thanks so much for being here today. We really appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, thank you for having us over.
Of course,
Great.
Of course. So check out Sociable Cider Werks, check out the tap room down in Northeast Minneapolis, or you can come check out the ciders here at Elevated Beer, Wine, and Spirits in White Bear Lake. We also have a location in South Minneapolis, so you can get this stuff all over the place. Come on out, check it out. Thanks for joining us today, guys. Cheers.